If you guys remember back in the day, I talked about the Nick Jr. Kids closing and why it gave people nightmares back in the day. And also, I made another video talking about my top 5 scary logos that used to haunt people back in the early 2000s. And now I'm here to talk about a video that today is going to be a story time of my worst closing ever. And that's Blue's Big Musical movie. And before you guys start judging me, I'm gonna explain why. Good morning, guys. Long time no see. I know I haven't made another video in a while. It's been so long, probably since 2020 since I made a new video. But I'm finally back with a new video. So this came across my mind this morning, and I'm sorry if I'm shaking the camera around, but this came across my mind this morning. Been thinking of this story for quite some time now, and it came across my mind today. But today I'm going to talk about, yes, just by the title of this video, I'm going to talk about my worst closing ever, which you guys just saw, Blue's Big Musical Movie 2000. This was released on VHS and DVD, and basically, I used to watch this basically when I was a kid. And I continued watching it until probably an adult. Yeah. So today we're gonna do a story time of why it feared me as a kid, and kind of still gives me the creeps today, especially like if I watch it in the dark. But so here's the story. I'm gonna start right now. So it started when I think we moved into our first house. It was my mom, dad, me, and my sister, and my little brother wasn't born yet at this time. But so we moved into our first house, I think in Virginia. And so I remember back in the day, I was so obsessed with Blue's Clues, okay? Like, Blue's Clues was my favorite childhood show back in the day. I liked Dora, but I also liked I liked Blue's Clues more. Blue's Clues, those VHS tapes were so much to me. It's like, I would not stop watching them, okay? So, I know everybody has their own TV show, but Blue's Clues was mine, okay? So I had a bunch of the VHS tapes. But there was this one VHS tapes that I just couldn't like get to it. I couldn't watch it. So here's how it went. So at night, I remember in that first house at night, I would put Blue's Big Musical Movie to watch while I go to sleep. Okay, so I put the tape on, stay up until the closing, right? And I would watch the movie. I would Let me tell you guys, I was a light sleeper, okay? And today I still am. I am a very light sleeper. I'm never a heavy sleeper, okay? I can watch probably a whole movie till the end. So, um, so when it got to the closing part, so you guys know, obviously, at the end of Blue's Clues, they do their, like, the So Long song. Like, now it's time for so long. You know how they do that at the end? Well, they did it differently in the movie. They did it kind of like, because obviously it was the musical theme, so they wanted to keep it the musical way. So, they did the So Long song, and then I remember back in the day, in the movie, I shouldn't say back in the day, in the movie, the camera like backs up slowly, and it like goes to like the closing of the book. If you guys know the closing, um, the camera like zooms back and just goes to the closing of the book, and obviously, they're doing their thing in the film, and then it would go to the credits, right? And then obviously you got the music playing in the film, and then it goes to the normal music you would hear in the normal Blue's Clues credits, right? With like the snapping and the clapping and all that. You guys know it. But I remember every time it would get to that part, maybe not even that part. Excuse me, sorry. But not that part, but maybe later on into the credits, it would like I would kind of get like this little fear and chill in my spine. And then I would just, this is about to be funny. I would exit my bed. I would get out of bed and I would just go into my mom's room, right? So I would go into my mom's room and I would just stand there until the credits and everything was over. And so I should have waited till that part till the end, but here's why. So it was getting closer to the end of the credits, and I moved to my mom's room and into her bed. My mom was asleep, but I just moved to her bed. And so I remember I just stayed there, and then all I could just hear in the background in the hall, all I could just hear in the hall is the VHS playing the end of the credits. And all I could just hear is like the Nick Jr. production. You know how it does that at the end of the credits? That logo at the end of the credits? Well, it did that. And then all I could just see and hear was the reflection of the TV and the light of the TV on the hall, like on the wall of the hall. And so, all I could just see is that, and all I could just hear is the tape playing. And I remember, so you guys know, like, how it, like, if you know the closing to VHS to Blues Big Music Movie, you know how it starts, before the Nick Jr. Kids closing, it starts off with that copyright, that Nick Jr. Hippos logo and the copyright. Well, it was just dead silence in that hallway for 1 second. It was dead silence. There was nothing at all. Nothing was like going on in my hallway. There was nothing. All you could just hear is silence after that Nick Jr. production logo. And there was just pure silence. Guys, you gotta understand, I was a kid back then. I was like hugging my mom. I was so scared, okay? And then out of nowhere, the Nick Jr. Kids closing, like, just came on, and it scared the freaking crap. And it was loud too. I remember it scared the freaking crap out of me. Like, I was hugging my mom so tight, okay? All I could just hear in the background was that "see you later" on Nick Jr. Like, oh, like, guys, you gotta understand, I was freaking small, okay? I'm grown now, okay? So basically, all I could just hear that was the background, and it just looked like something was about to just come into the room and just start killing me, okay? It really felt like that. So, after that, all I could just hear is that Banjo Just For Me theme going on. And I was still scared, okay? That music creeps me out too. It's not just the face promo, okay? And then, later on into the closing, I think I still stayed in my mom's room until the tape was over, or I could have went back. But now, just to let you guys know, this was a long time ago, so I don't remember some things, okay? So I went back into the room. The 2 music videos were going on, but I was still scared. Like, okay, like, because you know, after a VHS tape, it's just pure silence, nothing but that black screen and, like, just silence. Like, I hated that so much. I hated that about VHS tapes back in the day. Like, I hate that it was all, like, they're playing stuff all loud, and then after all that, it's just dead silence, but nothing but that black screen. So it would do the 2 music videos, and I was still shaking. Like, I was scared. Like, I could not go back to sleep, okay? Like, my room was dark, and I could not turn on the lights. I wish I did, but I could not. But, I was scared, okay? That Nick Jr. Kids closing, that one hit it different, okay, in that movie, okay? That one, like, I had so many Blues Clues VHS tapes back in the day that some of these closings, Nick Jr. Kids closings, they hit it different than in the movie. Like, the movie, I don't know. I think it's just how it just ends with the Nick Jr. production logo, then the Hippo logo, then the Nick Jr. Kids closing. Like, that's just stupid, right? Like, why couldn't they just, like, do it like after the Nick, why couldn't they just do it like after the Nick Jr. production logo and then the closing? I know they did that in the DVD. So, which is a stupid thing to put the Nick Jr. Kids closing on a DVD. Like, if you guys don't know, Blues Big Musical Movie is the only DVD that has that Nick Jr. Kids closing. And that is just, like, so stupid, right? Like, none of them have, like, none of the DVDs, the Nick Jr. DVDs have the Nick Jr. Kids opening and closing. Like this is just the only DVD that has it. And in my opinion, that is pretty stupid. But back to the story. So I did go to sleep, but I didn't go to sleep till like after like everything was over, okay? Maybe until it got like to the blue screen, okay? Um and this, guys, you have to understand, this happened almost every single night. It's like I would put the tape in and I would just watch Blues Big Musical and do the same thing over and over every night. Okay? That Nick Jr. Kids closing hit it different, okay? Like I feel like I would have dreams about that closing all the time. And today, the see you later outro still gets me today. Like, just hearing that deep voice, that see you later with that winking face, that's just unsettling for me. Like, I don't know. I know it hits other people different, but for me, it's pretty creepy, guys. But yeah, as a kid, I could not do it. Like, Blues Big Musical movie, that closing, and even just hearing like that, you know how that Paramount thing, it does like, and now our feature presentation. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm just ready for it to end. Like, this stuff is like creeping me out, you know? Because you guys got to know too, it was in the dark. It was in the dark. There was no light in my house when this was happening. Okay? It was just pure dark. And so, and I wanted to turn some lights on, but my mom and them was right next door, and they're going to be like, turn the lights off. So, guys, this was the story, man. This shit scared the crap out of me when I was little. Today, it doesn't scare me as much. But back in the day, it was horrible for me. Like, guys, you have to understand, I was little back then, okay? I'm grown now. I've aged out of that now. It's not as scary to me now. But back in the day, it was horrible. I was like probably like 3 when this happens, or 4 when this happened. But Blues Big Musical, couldn't do it. With that Nick Jr. Kids closing and the musics and everything, unsettling, okay? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for listening to the story. Please write, comment, and subscribe. Got more music on the way. I know I said that in the last video, and y'all probably don't care as much about that, but yeah, just like to say, more music on the way. Keep in touch with Zachariah Hodge and Zach DeMac. We're gonna say Zachariah Hodge, aka Zach DeMac, okay? I know I say Zach DeMac, just Zach DeMac in some videos, but it's Zachariah Hodge, aka Zach DeMac, because you guys remember back in the day it was called Zachariah Hodge. But anyway, peace out, guys, and see you guys later.